Hey YouTube, today I'm going to give you a tutorial on Unity 3D, the game making engine. With Unity you can make free games and publish them on the internet. Games such as Marvel's Superhero Squad and a lot of phone games now are using Unity. If you've ever heard of the Unity web player, it was made with, well, yeah, Unity. To start, download and install Unity. You can either pay for it or the free version. Pro version, which is a paid one, gives you the ability to use cutscenes and water, but for this demonstration I'll be using the free version and all the free items inside it. So to start, once you've downloaded and installed it, start it up and you should be presented with this screen, which you choose to open or create a new project. For this demonstration I'm going to create a new project, and sorry if all this is rushed. I may try to split it up, but for 15 minutes you can't really get much. So to start, you can choose what you want in the package, beginner package, such as character controllers, where you can just drag and drop pre-made characters, lights, particles, but for this demonstration I'm just going to tick everything like so, and then click create. Now, since a lot of stuff has been ticked, it may take a while, so I'm going to pause the video here and come back when it's done. So, see you in a minute. Hey YouTube, so I'm back and it is fully loaded up. If you have freshly installed Unity, it may not look the same as mine because I've rearranged mine, but you will still have the same panels and everything. So I'm going to go over the basics, such as the hierarchy, which is that one. If I've pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry, I cannot say that word. But that stores everything in your scene. A scene is like a level in your game. So if you add your characters, vehicles, cities, buildings, all that would be stored in there. Next one is your project one. I need to stop pointing at the screen. The project stores everything that your whole game has. So all the scripts, all the characters, cars, models, everything is stored in the project. You can move it around, it's like an Explorer system for Windows or Mac, but yeah. The inspector, that's the main properties of your object. So if I go into I'm just going to call that level objects because I really don't want to say that. If I click the main camera, which is there by default, I haven't put that there, you can see the inspector all the projects, such as the name, which you can change if you like, the tick next to the name, that enables or disables the character, the object. So if I disable that, you will not be able to see. Also, if you've noticed, since I clicked on the main camera, you can see our camera previews came up, so I can see exactly what the camera's seeing. Next, you can, in the inspector, there is the transform property, which you can open and close. The transform is what nearly all objects have, and it controls the position, the rotation, and the scale of each object. The main camera is not a very good example for the scale or other stuff because the main camera is a camera. But if you I had a character or a vehicle, you could position it wherever you like in 3D space, rotate it in any way, or scale it in any way. The next one is the camera's main script. Now this you shouldn't mess with really much unless you're going more advanced. But basics in here are the field of view, which is how wide you want it to look. So if I zoom out here, mine's zoom out, zoom, there, you can see the triangle in which the camera can see. So if I put an object, say here, I really hope you can see my mouse pointer, or just outside of the triangle, it will not see it. But if I change the field of view, it may, well, yeah, up and down, I got confused there, and near and far in the clipping panes is the one I was talking about, where you can expand it out, or you can type your own numbers, such as 2000 or something. Normalized Viewport is not much used for the main camera because that is for positioning it somewhere else, for such as split screens or mini maps. Yeah, so depth is, I don't really know how to explain that one, but that just basically shows how deep it shows really. And the rest you want to ignore, except the audio listener, which is an important feature which we'll be going over. That basically does what it says. It listens for any audio and it'll play it through the speakers. So if you place an object in the middle of a city playing stereo or something, closer you get to it with the camera, the louder the object will get. So yeah. Another panel is the scene one. Scene basically shows you everything in your level, and you can explore it using, if you press the middle mouse button down, you can drag around, hold Alt and then press the left button and you can drag around. Another panel is the game panel, and that shows you exactly what your main camera is seeing in your game. So also, if you haven't already, try and tick maximize on play at the top of the game panel, because then it'll maximize it when you play it. Because if I click play, maximized, but if I don't click play, it only shows it in that. So you want a full screen experience. If I go back to the scene view, you can see the, well, I don't know really what it's called, but the 3D Explorer cube thing, and like you can explore the Z, X and Y axis by clicking the arrows, zooming around it, up and down, click the cube in the middle to center it, and etc. A final panel what we're going to explore is the error panel, or the console. Down at the bottom, as you can see, I've got one error already, but just ignore that. That's a problem with my monitor and the settings I've put on. But if you double click it, you'll get the console. You've got all the errors what you'll have in here, and you can click on them and they'll tell you here what the error is and everything. But this one, don't worry about this, that's just an error bug in Unity. As you can see, I've double clicked it and it's trying to open the bottle thing. Go away. So yeah, also for 64-bit users, you may get an error saying you need to download a patch for Windows. I personally haven't downloaded this patch and my Unity works perfectly fine, so it's up to you whether you want to download it or not. I don't know if you get that error on Mac, because I know you can get Unity for Mac. So, after me rambling on, we will start making our basic game. I won't be going into advanced stuff now, I'll just showing you basic stuff so you can get to grips with Unity in, follow other tutorials. And before we do, I also recommend the two Tornado Twins. They do brilliant Unity tutorials. It's where I learned all mine from, and they are very popular. They do really good, a really good worm tutorial game, and they start to finish. So yeah, to start, go to Game Object, Create Other, and then Cube. So we're going to create ourselves a basic floor. Now, if you press F on your keyboard, it will F for focus. It'll draw you into the cube. As we can see, we have a cube. And now in the inspector, we want to change the scale of it to, I don't know, 50, and then the height is 0.3, so we have a flat one, and then 50 again, so we have a big one. Now if we scroll out, as you can see, we have a basic floor, so rename cube at the top to floor. As you can see in the object stats, or I forgot what I'm going to call them, but you can see floor's been changed. So make sure you press enter after, and I don't know if Mac has an enter button, but yeah. So once you've done that, it's time to create a basic character. I'm not going to do a super detailed character because you're best off using an external modeling program such as Blender, Cheetah or 3ds Max for modeling, but Unity can do basic modeling. So if I go to Game Object, Create Other, then Sphere, in fact no, Control Z that, or Command Z, go to Create Other. I'm going to create a capsule, press F to focus it, and as you can see it's through the floor, so if we play the game that'll just fall, so take it up out over the floor, and yeah, we have a basic character, but I want a head, so Game Object, Create Other, Sphere. If you want to build a character now, just pause the video and then try it. But also, as you can see, I've got the 3-axis movement things which will enable me to move around the objects. If you don't have this, you will have 4 tools at the top. You have the hand where you can drag around the view. You have the movement one, which I'm using. The rotation one, so you can rotate it. And then the scale tool, so you can make it bigger or smaller, and I want my character to have a big head. So go to the X view and move it about, so give him a big head like that. Now as you can see here, it has a green line around it. I really hope you can see that. And so does the capsule. So that is the colliders on them. So basically the walls of that object. If it didn't have a collider, you could just walk straight through it. And luckily, if you look in the inspector, our floor has a box collider, which is right. So we won't be able to fall through that. So if we click our capsule and press the cog button, click remove component, and then the sphere, and remove the component also, so we have a basic character. And we don't want it because we're going to attach a character controller on it, which enables us to use keys and main character functions for our character. So if we change the capsule to character, I hope that's spelled right, enter that, and then that's the character, main character. But if we try to move it, it'll just move without the head, and we need the head. So if you rename the sphere to head, and then make that a child of the character, which you simply do by dragging and dropping, as you can see, it is done. The character or capsule is now the parent, and if you click the drop down arrow, you will see the head is now a child. And if I move the character, it moves, but I can still separately move the head. Yeah. So if I click the character, what we want to do now is add the character controller, which you can do by component, physics, and character controller. This gives our object a character controller, but so the character controller only covers the capsule, but that's okay because if the head was a defeat, then we'd need to move it, but we're not going to for this example. And now what we're going to do is create a new script which enables our character to move. But I'm not going to go into all the details of this script because Unity, the developers, provide this script for free on their website. So if I'm just going to right click in my project anywhere, create a new folder and call it scripts, then inside that create a new JavaScript and call it movement. Then if I press enter again, it will open up in Notepad++. Standard users will open up in mono development, but I don't like it, so I just changed it by going to edit, preferences, yep, external tools, and change my external script editor to Notepad++. But you can use mono developer if you like. I'm just using Notepad++, it's the exact same. So when it loads up, you will have this. I don't exactly know what Pragma script is. That's something they've added new, but I just stick all my variables under there, which we'll learn about later. Function update is called every single frame on your game which is made. So if you think about animation, you have your stick man, you move him a tiny bit, add another frame, move him a tiny bit, add a frame, move him a tiny bit, add a frame, and then you keep going, and when you play it, it looks like he's moving. It's the same with games, it has frames. So an update is called every single frame. So that's good, like checking if the user presses the forwards key or something. Well, in the description you will see a link for Unity documentation which will bring you to this website, and then just copy from this bracket all the way up to var speed and just copy that, and then go back to your text editor and paste it over that and then save it. This basically script is going to allow your character to, well, if you go back to the website, it allows you to move forward, sideways, jump, and it tells you to make sure you attach a character controller, which we already have. So now if we go back to Unity, as you can see, our movement, if we click on it, is done, but that doesn't know which objects to access yet, so we need to attach it to it. So if we click our character and drag the movement onto the just click and drag, you will see this little plus icon on Windows, and I don't know where it is on Mac. I think it's like a circle thing with a plus or something. But just drag it on and let go, and you should have the script there. You can change the speed and the jump height and everything. For this turn, I'm just going to 15. I want him to jump really high. So, yeah. But at the moment, our character's got no weight, he's got no gravity or anything. So if we add a component, physics, rigid body, now it's got weight and mass and everything. Our camera is not looking out at our player, as you can see. It's just looking into blue space, which isn't good. So if I change this back to what it was, 1,000, I think I was 50, I'm not sure, but yeah. Now if we go to the project and in the search bar type in smooth follow, which is a script which has been put in by Unity with everything we ticked. If you click back on your character and drag the click your camera, that's right, yeah, and drag your smooth follow onto it. Smooth follow basically tells your camera to follow an object which it's been assigned to. So as you can see, we have a smooth follow. It says the script of it, it's the target which we want our character to be, so just click and drag the target on. The distance we want it to follow at, the height of it, and I don't know what damping is yet, so yeah. And go to game object, create other, and then for this example we're using Directional Light. Directional Light provides basically the big sun. And go away fast. If we click the rotation tool and drag it down a bit because it's way too bright, Alt key and then left mouse button, you can drag around. As you can see, we have a sun. Now if we press play, there's a character. As you can see, we can move, but very slowly and poorly. I don't like that. So we'll speed it up by clicking the character and scrolling down to the speed. I don't know, 12. Yeah. So if we click play, hopefully it should be a bit faster. There we go. We now have the character, the camera. Whoa! And if you fall off, yeah, you die, but not yet. So restart it. Press space to jump. As you can see, it jumps, and that was better than my last attempt to code the jump button. But so yeah, there's your basic thing. And we'll add some basic colours to it because I really don't know how long this tutorial is. But so yeah, to start, click on your character's head, press F to focus, like position it so you can see. And if you go to mesh renderer, this is what renders the mesh. So if you untick it to deactivate it, it's invisible. So that's good for like barriers and stuff. If you click the materials, and you can see the amount of size is the amount of materials you want. So if I set 15, I'll have 15 different materials. I don't know what you'd want 15 for though, but set it to 1, and if you click the little pinhead at the side, I don't know if you can see that thing, click the little pinhead, yep, and you should get that. This screen shows you all the materials which your game has. So at the moment we haven't imported any, but we have a few. So I'm just going to stick on, I don't know, you can have a firehead. Oh, well we click capsule then. Capsule, we set it up, give you header tutorial, like a material, that's right. I don't know, fire and smoke. Yes, where's smoke? Fire and smoke. As you can see, our character now has kind of a texture. Yeah, so if you click your floor, we need a floor texture because she's just working on something grey at the moment. So click mesh renderer, pinhead again, and then choose grass if you've got one, which we don't. So I probably shouldn't make this too long, but just click something basic. So I'm just clicking optimized. So if you click play, there's your basic game. Yeah, and I'm gonna fall off again. No, right. Yeah. So there it is. You could possibly add noses and everything to your character, get better characters. Yeah, so there's a basic game. I probably should end the tutorial here because I don't know how long it's been, but sorry it's been so rushed. It was my first Unity tutorial, so if there wasn't anything you understood, please post in the comment section below. There. Please like, comment and subscribe, and give me suggestions for improvements if you don't mind. All criticism welcomed, except like if you want to completely destroy me, like please don't do that. But yeah, so feel free to explore Unity, like make more cubes and everything, by going to Game Object Creator and add some more cube spheres and stuff, make a whole world, make castles, and yeah, so that's it. Also, before I go, save it. To save your scene, which is your levels, which I think I explained earlier, just click File or whatever it is on Mac, and then Save Scene As. And if you create a new folder in there called Levels or Scenes, it's up to you. Go into it and, I don't know, Level 1. Yeah, so there. Now if you go to your project, close standard assets, we have levels, we have a project, which we can open up by clicking it. As you can see, we have a basic game in, I don't know how long, but sorry if the tutorial is long or if it's too short, I don't know, but yeah, so thanks for watching.